Chinggis Khan, the exhibition, has been one of the most critically acclaimed exhibitions that we've ever had at the museum. We've had thousands of residents, visitors from all across the country to visit the museum, specifically to see Chinggis Khan, the exhibition. Chinggis Khan, as taught in American schools, is really one-sided. While in school, I was taught only one part about Chinggis Khan, and that was that he was a marauder, a killer, an annihilator, if you will. He's believed to be very simplistic and one-dimensional, a warlord. However, this exhibition has been wonderful in terms of broadening Chinggis Khan's, an understanding of Chinggis Khan, specifically around the fact that he was also a well-known statesman.
Today, I am grateful to be here to play my music in Chinggis Khan exhibition. Main purpose of the Chinggis Khan exhibition was widely open to the world to introduce Chinggis Khan's true side along with Mongolian culture and tradition. During the exhibition, American people who came to the museum understood truth about Chinggis Khan than what they had learned before. In my opinion, this exhibition is very helpful to know Mongolian history through this great Chinggis Khan exhibition, as well as modern Mongolia. His childhood name was Temujin. As a young boy, Temujin experienced many hardships after his father was poisoned by a group of Tatars. This loss of their leader caused the Kayak tribe to scatter, leaving Temujin and his family alone. With power and determination, Temujin developed into an intelligent, brave warrior at an early age.
My experience with Chinggis Khan was very limited. Living here in America, we've always learned a different perspective of Chinggis Khan. After getting to know the Mongolian people and getting to know the history on Chinggis Khan, it's been very enlightening to me and to my family. My wife, my children, myself. Coming of Mexican descent, we have a lot of history as well. We come from Mayan, Aztec backgrounds where we do idolize and we do revere these people that were very poignant in our lives. I mean, and we've always had somebody to look up to, whether it been from the Mayas or from the Aztecs. So to meet some other culture that has the same ideas of somebody that's of a, I'm not gonna say higher power, but of somebody that's given pride to their culture was just fascinating to me.
Certainly, there are facts that are true around that, but more importantly is the fact that he was able to assemble the largest contiguous fiefdom that the world has ever known. And that's something that we certainly didn't learn while I was in school. So again, it is very important, and it has been very important, for the thousands of students who visited the Chinggis Khan exhibition to learn these various facts. Also, as part of the exhibition, we also learn about the culture, the dancing, the songs that were also major parts of the Mongolian community. For example, we had many performers who heralded from Mongolia, who were here to show American visitors many of the specific and wondrous and colorful dances from the Mongolian community.
They really embraced it, my children did. They love our culture, but once they started becoming friends with the community, the Mongolian community people, becoming friends with Zana and Marka, their understanding, I could see the pride in their eyes for this man. So what he's taught our people here in America, and me as a family man, is that if you just open your eyes and see people behind a culture, you'll get much more out of it. It won't just be one-sided of history, of books and paintings. And you can become personal. You can become related to the humanitarian side of this wonderful man.
Chinggis Khan united all the scattered Mongolian kingdoms and established a united state, the Mongolian Empire. His leadership of the Mongols was confirmed in 1206 when he was exclaimed Chinggis Khan, which means universe or invincible prince. It has been over 800 years of Mongol empire over the decades.
Chinggis Khaan үзэсгэлэн зохион байгуулах тийм завшаан тохиолдсон 3 жилийн өмнөөс
It is a pleasure to have this opportunity to organize Great Chinggis Khan's exhibition. About 3 years ago, Don Lesson and I organized this exhibition. It has been displayed in Houston and Denver, now in San Jose in May to the end of October 2010 at the Tech Museum. Exhibition organized by Mongolian Ministry of Education, Science and Culture. Neil from Don Canadian Corporation. There are 6 museums who sent their art pieces from Mongolia. From the beginning of this museum, we plan to set museum displays to meet the World Museum Standard, such as now to display pieces and deliver the message to people. We would like to take this opportunity to introduce Chinggis Khan's true story of his great empire to the world, Mongolian history, culture, related historical items, tools, and instruments in the museum.
see my children now. You know, they were given gifts from Ghana and his family, and the artists, they wear these Mongolian clothing, the hats, with pride. They treat them very respectfully. And so it brings a tear to my eye when I think about that they can sympathize and empathize with that rarity that they've given to Chinggis Khan. And he's brought that from the 13th century through the 21st century and created a friendship, not just history, not just pictures, not just passports. It's beyond that.
When Chinggis Khan died in 1227, the Mongol army had already overrun Central Asia, was in northern Persia, and had penetrated deeply into China. A vanguard of the army was in Eastern Europe. Italian merchants trading along the Black Sea coast willingly gave the Mongol army a wealth of intelligence about European states and their leaders. One result of the ties with Italy was the travels of Marco Polo. Marco Polo is probably the most famous Western traveler on the Silk Road. His journey through Asia lasted 24 years. He reached further than any of his predecessors, beyond Mongolia to China.
Chinggis Khan, it's very interesting to learn, brought us hamburgers, brought us pants. He was also instrumental in implementing various trade routes. These are many of the things that we bring to America and other countries around the world, even today. Chinggis Khan also had an incredible enthusiasm around community. The exhibition features more than 200 artifacts that include silk dresses, cutlery, bracelets, many of which have never been seen outside of Mongolia. In fact, one of the highlights of Chinggis Khan the exhibition is the Mongolian noblewoman mummy, who is believed to have lived centuries ago and was unearthed in 3 layers of clothing, as I understand it, a leather jacket and 2 silken dresses and or robes and a large hat. That mummy is found inside the exhibition, and it has been one of the highlights, if you will, for visitors coming through and really getting a feel for the clothing that was worn at that point, the actual size of the Mongolian mummy, and we understand that she's just over 4 feet or so. And it is amazing to see the things that she was buried with, and again, to get a really good understanding of just how important it was to be a noble person, and also the respect and dedication that was taken in burying her as well. So thanks to the Chinggis Khan exhibition, we've been able to have more than 50,000 people come to visit the museum, and we truly do hope that their experiences have been mind-altering as well as perception-altering around Chinggis Khan, who, as I said earlier, has impacted not only Mongolia, but indeed the entire world. And the thinking around this warlord and this statesman should somehow be bridged so that we can have a deeper understanding of the complete person and the impact that he has had then and today.
If it wasn't for him, none of this would have started. You know, whether it was dark, the history that I knew, or if you were educated in college and knew the stately side of him, it didn't matter. I came in here with an interest in what he was providing for the world.
Чингис хааны үзэсгэлэнд ингээд хүмүүс анхаарахад бол одоо Чингис хааны өшөө баримлаас ахуулаад одоо Чингис хаан орчин үеийн
When you enter the exhibition, the first thing you will see is Chinggis Khan's monument and also pieces that are helpful to better understand about what he did to modern lifestyle.
болсон байгаа. Тэгээд цаашлуул одоо эзэн Чингис хааны төрсөн нутаг Дэлгүүн болдог. Тэгээд анан мөрний хөвөө тэр Чингис хааны хүүхд ахын нас Тэмүүжин.
We also displayed Chinggis Khan's birthplace picture, Dulun Bulldog, Onnon River, and his childhood's historical documents.
Тавьсан үзмөрүүдээс гадна одоо
In addition, we have computer games and posters that help kids to learn more about Chinggis Khan. Also, we displayed pieces from the 12th and 13th centuries Mongolians' people lifestyle that is relevant to their culture, what they wore and used during that time, such as Mongol gear, gun, also pieces related to religion. In the past, world history had many great leaders. Alexander the Great, Hannibal, and even Julius Caesar met with struggle on their rise to power. Perhaps Chinggis Khan was the most significant of all these rulers. To prove that Chinggis Khan was the greatest ruler, we must go back to the very beginning of his existence and experiences. Chinggis Khan knew what his people wanted. They wanted everything that is good and nothing bad. Chinggis knew he could not promise this, so instead he pledged to share both the sweet and the bitter of life. Chinggis was a very wise man. His mother told him at a very early age the importance of trust and independence. Remember, you have no companions but your shadow. One of the interesting stories was when a Persian queen had died and willed that a Mongol of royal blood be married to her husband to take her place. Persian messengers went to China and obtained a fitting female for this purpose, but their return to Persia by land was blocked by a regional war. William Fitzhugh of the Smithsonian Institution's Arctic Studies Center says Chinggis was an extraordinary ruler whose historical legacy needs to be reassessed in the West. Records from the period, many now only being uncovered, give you a view of a person who is a superb organizer, a superb lawmaker, a fair and judicial ruler, someone who supported women and gave women a lot of rights, says Fitzhugh, who is a consultant for the exhibition. They predict that those who visit the exhibit will not only come away with just a very different view of Chinggis Khan, but also of ancient history in Asia, something Americans generally don't know very much about. That's the central thrust of the exhibit. Let's familiarize Americans with a particular period of Mongol history from a time when Mongol and Asian history changed the world. Chinggis Khan was born in 1162 from Mother Olin, and he became Yusuhei's third son. In 1170, Yusuhei introduced Temujin to Berthe. When he was 9 years old, Yusuhei got killed when he went to get Berthe to get an engagement. Since that time, Temujin, his mom, and his family faced a hard life in his early young age. He was the head householder, supporting his family and hunting to provide food for his family. These were his responsibilities. During the same time, his tribe was scattered. They left him alone. Mother Olin was a very talented, smart woman with a unique ability to teach her kids about living. Temujin's hard effort led him to success. He started to have his people back to help him start this great Mongol empire. We can mention Jamukh as his friend for this matter. Meeting with Jamukh and Berthe helped supported him to lead Mongols' empire. Also meeting with Tevtingr shaman influenced him to be famous as well. Chinggis Khan had an impressive skill to find his friends and keep his friends with him. Also, his great patience, bravery, all these made him a superb warrior, a great leader.
Growing up, we all heard about Chinggis Khan in school as just being a ruthless warrior who wanted to build an empire. But something that really surprised me when I talked to museum president Peter Fries is that Chinggis Khan is actually a technology wizard and a true innovator. I'm here with Peter Fries. He is the president of the Tech Museum here in San Jose. Peter, thanks so much for talking with us today.
Sure, I'm happy to be here.
It is so exciting to be here. I can't believe how much is in this exhibit. What about the legacy of Chinggis Khan made you think it would be important to bring this exhibit to the museum?
You know, Chinggis Khan was a very modern man in his time, and he used technology to enlarge his empire. And it was the largest empire in world's history for a certain time.
Personally, Chinggis Khan, the exhibition, was very enlightening for me, a product of American public schools and indeed American colleges, where we were often taught the one dark, grim side of Chinggis Khan. Well, after visiting the exhibition, and I can say I've gone through at least 24 times as I work here, I can tell you that I'm a different person in terms of my perspective and understanding, and indeed my appreciation for Chinggis Khan, for the impact that he's had even today. Again, watching many of the students come through and tour the exhibition, following that, they are able to talk more amongst themselves about the impact that Chinggis Khan has had on the world then and today. In fact, there's much talk about the bridges that this 13th century man still continues to build even today, not only between Americans, but among different cultures and ethnicities and other groups throughout the world today. So the experience is one that I think an educated or someone who thought that they were educated in ways around this very historical man has been so distorted, but now my perspective walking out the door each time is not only clearer, but broader.
And when you talk about technology, can you give us some examples of what we would see here in the exhibit that would demonstrate how modern he really was for his time?
First, on the cultural side, how he organized his army. The army was organized in a decimal system. That means there were groups of 10 warriors together, but if one of those escaped, all the other 9 had to die.
Wow.
They had these very strong rules and discipline in the army. The warrior went out with 1, 2, sometimes with 3 horses. And so he could switch horses very fast, and he could do long distances immensely fast. And they had food. It was dried meat powder, and they mixed it with water. And they could live with months for that. They could stand on their horses in a way that they can turn around and shoot arrows behind. One of their biggest achievements of the time was the composite bow. The composite bow were actually a couple of bows added to each other. Like you add batteries in a radio today, so you have 3 batteries, you have 3 times more power. They could go through almost everything. And so that's what helped them to enlarge their empire very, very fast, over 30 years.
The idea of a passport was something that he first created. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
It was one of the first uses we have heard of, so that's 1,000 years ago, and we're still using it. So that really underlines how modern Chinggis Khan was.
Would another person be able to do what Genghis did? This is the type of question that humans have asked themselves since immemorial, in spite of its ultimate insolubility. In much of traditional historiography, it has been taken for granted that the personal or subjective element in history is at best a secondary one. The reasoning that has been something like this: what shapes history are the material factors, that is, population dynamics, economic resources, climate, and so on. This means that fame or greatness of any given person is contingent upon factors beyond the control of that individual.
Chinggis Khaan болон Талтуухийнхны
Chinggis Khan and Alton Oryx brought a valuable great history to the world. Many scientists are making their own opinion from many different aspects. The exhibition that we displayed is also one of the aspects of letting many people know Chinggis Khan's positive aspect of what he did and how superb a leader he was. We proved that he was the founder, superb ruler, and emperor of the Mongol Empire, the largest continuous empire in the world.
үнэхээр гарамгаа өдөртөгч байсан Монголын их Монгол гүрнийг үндэслэгч агуу хүн байсан гэдгийг бол нотлон харуулж чадсан.
Chinggis Khan is the fifth on the list of the world top 10 rulers in the world history. Now that tells us what he has accomplished, not only for Mongolian history, but it is a huge influence to the world history. People that came to our exhibition had been very pleased by what they found out and saw. They want to go to Mongolia or go back to Mongolia. When they went to Mongolia, they liked it there very much. We really appreciate that people came to our exhibition and walked out the door with positive knowledge and truth about the emperor of the Mongol Empire, who is Chinggis Khan.
Thanks to the fantastic work of Don Lessem and Gan Hoig, the world is now able to capture Chinggis Khan in his entirety. No longer is he a one-dimensional character, but a real human who had great and lasting impact on our entire planet then as in today.
It is fascinating to me. We're going to go visit modern Mongolia, and from what I've learned, that 2.8 million people and almost 1.4 live in the capital city of Ulaanbaatar. That just fascinates me. And the nomadic lifestyle hopefully doesn't, go away. And hopefully a lot of the younger generation will see how important it is to keep those cultural identities within their people.
Бид бүгд энд